Good morning, cadets. Today we are going to discuss about the guidelines of CBSE for the board examination 2022. The syllabus which is going to be for this board examination, which is going to be a totally new pattern as the syllabus is divided between two examinations, and for the first time there are going to be two term ending examinations. So let us discuss the guidelines which have been released by CBSE. Keep in mind that the entire syllabus is going to be there this year. Last year it was a rationalized syllabus. So far CBSE has not released any rationalized syllabus, but they have made it very clear that the entire syllabus is going to be for this year's examination, and students would be assessed throughout the year, and this assessment would be divided into two terms, term 1 and term 2, and the syllabus is going to be 50%. The entire syllabus can be divided into 50%, and term 2 examination, again you will have 50% syllabus. So papers for term 1 would be MCQ based. So all the questions which are going to be there, that will be MCQ based and of 90 minutes duration with OMR based answer sheets. Term 2 examination would be of 2-hour paper and it's going to be subjective. However, in case situation is not conducive, term 2 to be conducted in MCQ format also. In case if the physical classes are not held, if the students are not present there, and if the number of cases of coronavirus go up, then in that case, again it will be MCQ format for term 2 examination. So depending upon the situation, CBSE will take the decision. CBSE would be providing the question papers for both term 1 and term 2 examination. And term 1 examination will be held in the school itself, whereas term 2 examination will be held in the center. So term 1 would be conducted in the month of November or December, whereas term 2 would be conducted in March or April. And in the case of both the term ending terms, you would have 50% of the total syllabus. So 50% of the syllabus will be for term 1 ending examination, and 50% which is remaining will be for term 2 examination. Term 1 examination, that would be for 50% syllabus. Term 2 examination would be conducted for 50% syllabus, and that would be of 2 hour duration. The paper would contain subjective questions. Remember, term 1 it's going to be MCQs, term 2 it's going to be essay type questions, subjective questions. In case situation is not conducive, the examination would also be conducted in MCQ format. So term 2 are proposed in March and April 2022. So term 1 question paper will have multiple choice questions, which would also include case-based MCQs and MCQs on assertion reasoning type. So you should be ready for all types of questions then. The examination would be of 90-minute duration as opposed to 3-hour duration. Remember, in the case of term 1, it's going to be 90-minute duration. Term 2, it's going to be 2-hour duration. In the case of both, it will contain 50% of the prescribed syllabus. Now let us discuss the main points of this special scheme of assessment for board examination. Remember that the syllabus is going to be almost half. So approximately 50% in the term 1 examination. So term 1 you have 50% syllabus, term 2 you have 50% syllabus. So it is just like semester system. And term end examination is going to be held in the month of November or December 2021. Whereas term 2 examination will be held in the month of March or April 2022. So that is the plan presently. And duration of exam of term 1 ending exam will be 90 minutes. Whereas it will be of 2 hours offline if it's a written exam. But if it's online, then it's going to be 90 minutes. Question type. Remember that the examination will be held in the school itself for 90 minutes. So what are the question types? Multiple choice questions in the case of term 1 ending examination. So it will be MCQs. So case based, MCQ on assertion reasoning type. So these are the reasoning type, logical reasoning. So they will give a particular case. Then case based MCQs will be there. And this is not that it is including these. Whereas offline case based, situation based, short answer, long answer type. So then comprehension passages will also be there. Or online MCQ based, same as in term 1. If it's online, if there are no physical classes, in that case, if the examination is not going to be in the centers, then in that case online examination. So who will prepare the question paper? In the case of both, it is going to be CBSE. Answers will be captured through what? It will be captured through OMR. So OMR sheets will be provided, and depending upon the condition, they will decide whether OMR sheets or paper. So it's going to be pen and paper examination, whereas second one. But only if the cases are increasing or if there's a lockdown, in that case only it is going to be online, just like first term examination. Exam will be conducted under what? External center superintendents and observers appointed by CBSE in the case of both. So external center superintendent is going to be there, external observer is going to be there, even in the case of term 1 ending examination. Though it is going to be held in the school, there are going to be observers, there are going to be center superintendents. Now here, contribution in overall score, how the score is going to be calculated. Pandemic condition improves and both exam will be held offline. Equal weightage to both terms 1 and 2. So equal weightage. Syllabus is 50%. Weightage is also equally distributed. Term 1 exam online and term 2 exam offline. Term 1 will be given less weightage than term 2 exam. In case if it's offline, term 2 examination. Term 1 exam offline and term 2 exam online. Term 1 will be given more weightage than term 2 examination. So you should be ready for all these. So we are seeing all these main points now. Keep it in mind that what in whatever scenario how you are going to be. So term 1 examination is also very important. Internal assessment is also very important. If complete closure is there, and we both examinations are held online, then results would be computed on the basis of the internal assessment, practical project work and theory marks of term 1 and 2 examinations taken by the candidate from home in class 10th and or 12th subject to the moderation or other measures to ensure validity and reliability of the assessment. So as far as internal assessment is concerned, how it is going to be throughout the year, irrespective of term 1 and 2. So, in the case of 9th and 10th, 3 periodic tests, student enrichment portfolio, practical work, speaking, listening activities, project. In the case of 11th and 12th particularly, end of topic or unit tests. So, unit tests. Then exploratory activities. So, whatever the activities we conduct there, in order to find out all that, maybe even listening, speaking skills, all those activities, whatever the activities that are conducted there, so practicals, projects, so those are going to be the part of internal assessment for 12th. CBSE has announced term-wise syllabus for the academic year 2021-22. In term 1 ending examination, we have reading comprehension for 14 marks. So in the reading comprehension, there are going to be 2 passages: unseen passage, factual, descriptive, auditory or discursive or persuasive. So there is going to be unseen passage, and one more passage is going to be case-based unseen passage. So there are going to be 2 reading comprehension passages, and that will carry 14 marks. First one will be for 8 marks and second one will be for 6 marks. And remember, multiple choice questions are going to be asked on these passages. The second one is going to be creative writing skills, short writing tasks, notice writing and classified advertisements. It's going to be for 3 plus 5 marks. So it's going to be for 3 marks, short writing task. Whereas a long writing task will be for 5 marks. So in that they have included letter to an editor, giving suggestions or opinions on issues of public interest and article writing. So that will be for 5 marks. One will be letter to an editor and another one will be article writing. So totally the passage, this writing skills will be for 8 marks. In the case of term 2 ending examination, there is going to be again reading comprehension, wherein there will be 2 passages. One unseen passage, factual, descriptive, auditory or discursive or persuasive. And second one is going to be case-based unseen passage, which is going to be factual one. So these 2 passages will carry 14 marks. First one 8 marks, second one 6 marks. Then in the case of writing skills, we have short writing task and long writing task. But in the second term, we have invitations and replies to invitations, formal and informal invitation cards or the replies to invitations. Then in the case of long writing tasks, you have letter of application for a job, which is very important when you apply for a job, afterwards when you go for career. And second one is report writing in the case of long writing task. So long writing task is going to be for 5 marks, whereas short writing task is going to be for 3 marks. Totally it will be of 8 marks. It's going to be the rationalized syllabus this year for the academic year 2021-22. You have 2 textbooks.
One is a main course book, that's a Flamingo, and another one is Vistas, which is a supplementary reader. Now there are going to be only 5 lessons in the case of Flamingo, 5 poems in the case of poetry section, and as far as Vistas is concerned, there are going to be only 5 stories from Vistas as it was last year. How the questions are going to be? Questions are going to be based on textbooks to assess comprehension, appreciation, analysis, inference, extrapolation. And the syllabus which is going to be there, which you have to focus, which is going to be term 1 ending, that will be only for term 1. And in the case of second term, your remaining portion of the syllabus. So 3 stories from Flamingo, that's a main course book. The last lesson, Lost Spring and Deep Water. So these 3 chapters are there from Flamingo. In the case of poetry, 3 poems are there for the first term. My Mother at 66, An Elementary School Classroom in a Slum, and Keeping Quiet. So these 3 poems are there for the first term. In the case of non-detailed textbook, Vistas, only 2 stories are there, the third level and the enemy. 11 marks for Flamingo plus 7 marks for Vistas. So totally the textbook based questions will be of 18 marks. And total weightage of the question paper is going to be 50 marks. 10 marks for ASL, assessment of speaking and listening skills. So totally it will be of 50 marks in the case of first term. Now as far as literature section of second term is concerned, we have 2 stories, The Rat Trap and Indigo, from the textbook Flamingo. And questions will be based on extracts or text to assess comprehension and appreciation, analysis, inference, extrapolation. The poems which are included are A Thing of Beauty and Aunt Jennifer's Tigers from the main course book Flamingo. From the non-detailed textbook Vistas, we have the chapters Should Wizard Eat Mummy? On the Face of It, which is a play. Evans tries an O-level. Very interesting story. So these 3 are there for the second term, whereas in the case of first term, we have only 2 chapters, the third level and the enemy, whereas in the case of Vistas, we have 3 chapters in the second term. So remember that this literature section is going to be only for 18 marks, 11 marks for Flamingo, which includes prose and poetry section, whereas 7 marks for non-detailed textbook Vistas. I hope it's clear to you, and therefore you can focus on the syllabus which is there for the first term, and whatever syllabus there for the second term, you focus in the second term. So they have tried to simplify this year the whole examination process. And it is very important for you to study right from the beginning, because the monthly tests, periodic tests, also very important. And ASL will also be conducted in first term too. So in both terms, ASL will be conducted.
In the nutshell, term 1 examination is going to be multiple choice question types of 90 minutes duration, whereas term 2 examination will be subjective type of different formats questions will be asked. Then in the case of various situations, how marks are going to be calculated for the final report card. You can just have a look at that. No, if there is no pandemic, marks to be distributed evenly over both the terms. And if in the case of term 1 from home and term 2 in school, then in that case term 1 weightage to be less in final score, more focus on term 2 marks. Term 1 in school, term 2 from home, then in that case weightage more on term 1 and internal assessments, less weightage to term 2 marks. So term 1 and term 2 both at home, every aspect of internal assessment, term 1 and term 2 to be considered for fair judgment. Keep this in view and prepare accordingly. Prepare very regularly. Every examination that you appear, let it be monthly tests, periodic tests, or term one ending examination. All these examinations are very, very important when finally the marks are calculated. Thank you. Goodbye.